tattoo.
It depends on what it entails, like what portion of guy code.
Well, it's interesting because like I don't even know if this is the type of stuff we should talk about, but it'd be fun to talk about because I just want to know y'all's take on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember we were having a discussion about uplifting our community, you know, being responsible for one another, the whole our brothers keeper thing. So I was gonna go down the path of, you know, if your boy, your brother, your friend, your peer, somebody you really care about, not just some random cat, but somebody you really care about. You see them slipping up, doing something sloppy, something illegal, anything. Do you check them about it? Or, because like my mindset is, hey man, I told my wife this, like, I like to mind my own business. Like, I really don't like to be in other people's stuff. But if it's something I really care about, you know what I'm saying? Like I go to a restaurant and I see my boy, you know, somebody that doesn't look like his wife. Right. Do I check him? Do I pull him to the side later on? Not there.
Right.
But pull him to the side and say, what's going on?
I think so.
That's the kind of stuff. But then he come at you. This is the part that I wanted to get to. Then he come at you like, I mean, you ain't gonna say nothing, are you? This is what God told.
So,
and you know his wife, and y'all cool. Like you love and respect his wife too. Like his wife know your wife, things like that. And he like, you ain't gonna say nothing, man. You know, God code, man.
That's the duality of the guy code.
I
gotta address it. I may not have to say nothing to her.
Right.
I've had a situation like that where I had to talk to somebody who I'm very close with. Yeah. Like, yo, that girl is gonna get you in trouble. Yeah. You married, you got your family. That girl is gonna get you in trouble. Right. And I was like, this it's not my place to say nothing to your wife or whatever. Right. But we had a very long conversation about, you know, because, you know, we've all seen it, you know what I'm saying? Some of us have been involved in it or been close to it or whatever. Yeah, definitely. And as you grow and understand the values of fidelity and all of that kind of stuff when you're in a relationship, I mean, to me, I got to say something to if it's my boy, like you say, if it's somebody I'm close to, if it's just somebody I know, I'm like...
Yeah, if it's somebody you work with or something, I'm talking about like one of your people.
If it's my family, I mean, and I say family, like brotherhood.
That's what I'm talking about. Because, I mean, you're not trying to ruin nobody's life or nothing, like go to his wife or nothing, but you would want to, and I would feel responsible because, like, I'm not going to keep coming around y'all with that knowledge. Like, exactly. I'm not going to come around you and your wife with that knowledge. Yeah. And that's kind of where the discussion of guy code, because we all been in situations, right? With friends or peers or whatever. And that's where the discussion of guy code should come, because it's like, look, we boys, we cool, man, but I don't think this is, I'm not complicit in this, you know, and I think that's imperative. And that's kind of how we kind of check one another, you know, in a professional way. It's not like I'm trying to be your daddy or nothing. Yeah. It's like, look here, man, I can't, you know, because like you see situations and you're like, I don't know if I want to say anything about that. Right. You know, but I think we should all kind of raise each other. What do y'all think about that?
It's only a struggle when you're dealing with somebody that has integrity of their own. Because if I don't mind being deceptive or lying, then what difference does it make? That's right. But it's like if you yourself want to have integrity and want to be honest, it's like you said, it's like I'm not gonna say nothing, I'm not gonna bust on you. Right. But I don't want to be in your wife's face lying to her and being fake to her either. So it's like I don't want to be fake. I'm not gonna let you compromise who I am. So that's the lifestyle you choose to lead. Right. Peace to you, you know what I'm saying? Just do your thing. And like you said, depending on how close he is, how much he's willing to listen, you might talk to him or whatever. But he's gonna live his life. But you know, just not gonna make myself in a situation or put myself in a situation where I gotta compromise who I am or start lying in his wife's face to kind of back him up. That's your choice, you know.
I love that.
You live that up. So
that's my thought on it.
I agree with that. Yeah. And I think as we grow, that code changes. I don't think that code stays the same, because as a teenager, I'm definitely backing you up. I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But then when you start to grow, I think where I am now, the circle of people, and it comes with the type of people that you can surround yourself with. 100%. The circle of people who I tend to have around me at this point in my life are all, I'm thinking of, in my mind, I'm going through my mental Rolodex of my friends, people who I consider close to me. Yeah. Nobody close to me is somebody who I would let go out like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who I have around me at this point in my life, because I've curated my friends, my friend group, to the type of people who I surround myself with, people who I either want to be like or who I'm either, you know, maybe trying to tug along to try to, everybody should be raising together.
I agree.
Growing together. And evolving
exactly
together.
So, and I agree with that 100%. So the thing is that's the pangs of growing up.
Sure.
Right? That's the pangs of growing up. And then I think like we're getting to that age where I think we're in this improvement age where that's not even across my mind. And I'm praying to God that it's not around people that I'm associating with and hanging around.
Right.
Because that's an added stress that's unnecessary.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
This is so unnecessary and it's so childish and immature, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Not saying that one can end up in that situation based off of life experiences, but you know what I mean? It's like what we're doing here in this cave, in this setting, that we try our best not to even go down that thought process.
It's not even
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I told a friend of mine that, and this is not somebody that was necessarily dealing with it, but we were just having a conversation. I was like, I'm at the point now where if I'm first of all, I'm single at this moment. But if I'm in a relationship and I feel like I have such a strong urge to deal with somebody else, I need to be single. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Just being honest with yourself.
Being honest with myself, being mature, being an adult, and saying, I'm not going to, first, like you said, I just said it before we got on camera, I value my time and my effort very highly these days. I'm not about to burn up all of this extra energy and effort to try to cover this, sweep this one under the rug and get me over here and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's legit. I like that.
Going out for a pack of cigarettes and coming back 7-8 hours later, like, oh baby, they was out, so I had to go down to the other store.
You know that's so true, man. And the thing is like, man, that cold or whatnot. That cold is like, it's like, to me, once again, an immature level, right? You know what I'm saying? When you start thinking about that kind of stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting thought, man, because it's like, where are your priorities at and different things like that? Right. What is your idea of family? How do you define a wife? How do you define a husband? How do you define relationships? You see what I'm saying? Like seriously, man, it's like, if you haven't come to an understanding about that, you shouldn't, like you said, you shouldn't even be getting into it. Yeah. I know I failed like in relationships as being a young man.
Sure,
too. Before I got like changed my life around, seriously changed my life around. Yeah. I was a dog. I was an absolute dog, man. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until I really like changed my life around. And even at that, being in church, I had some struggles. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I still had some struggles.
That's real, bro.
But then I don't want to hold the conversation, but I think you guys understand.
I want to talk about
but it's real.
Because after you make that point, it's a deeper point.
Yeah, man. No, so that's kind of like what I'm saying, man. It's like, because the thing is this, man, I think in the Jewish, in the Jewish culture or whatnot, the Jewish as we know it to be, right, as we know it, whatever, right, but I'll just throw that out there. But they said 33 is when the man, 35, 33 years old is when the man is a man, right? It's something along that line. Which to me, man, that's valid. That actually makes sense.
That's valid. For
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You right on hard.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm thinking about just a couple years ago, dude. I'm a completely different person.
Right. So that's kind of like what it is. It's like, man, once you get to that certain age, it's like one of those. You're shedding the unnecessarily things. You're becoming a man, a child, and different things like that. So that's why I think like. Man, I got married when I was 31, right? I think that was a perfect age for me. And I think my wife, both of us wasn't ready for a relationship, but we ended up coming together and meeting. And we was like, we could do this. You know what I'm saying? And what we did was we kind of talked about everything that we didn't like. We talked about these things. And we were just like being really real and honest. Yeah. Something I've never done before in a relationship. You see what I'm saying? Because I think my goals in relationships were totally different. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like my expectations were totally different prior to that moment when I realized that I had to become a man. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
So
I love that. That's where I wanted to go with this, man, because
that's well said, man.
It's imperative that we as men have these discussions and where women can see it.
Yeah.
Because there's a stigma, particularly against certain groups of men, that we can't control ourselves. And then we get around each other and we conduct ourselves in a way that is, kind of like secret society behavior. This is like, I like cracking certain types of jokes just like anybody else. But the reality is that we are men and we're people of integrity, and we all have faltered in our lives, right? And we all have past that may not be, we're not always proud of. However, when you can discuss and sit here in these types of forums and show how you've evolved in your mindset and your thinking, in your discussion, and you put it out there like we're constantly growing, we're constantly evolving. We're not sitting up here like slimy, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I've been around cats, man, like, I don't know what they see in me, but it would be like an old dude would be like, man, check that out right there. He's like, I love it, and I'm like, dude, I don't even talk like that. Like, why you coming to me with specifically that? There be some dudes out there grimy, and I'm like, that's not my conversation. I mean, I understand you like looking at the ladies and stuff, and that's cool. That's your, you want to vocalize it and let the world know, but for me, it's like, we have to conduct ourselves in a way that we're not looked at as animals and like
dogs.
Dogs. We can't control ourselves. We can't control our sexual urges. We can't control how we move in society. And guy code kind of dictates. Well, slimy guy code dictates. Like, I'm gonna do this, and you my boy. You ain't gonna really come at me.
Cover for me,
and I'm just like, but we're not operating in that mindset, like we have to grow from that, because I know true, I've been around dudes for years that are like that, and I'm like, I don't understand, man. I mean, it's cool. I mean, you like the ladies, that's fine, that's one thing, but you ain't gotta be a slime ball about it. And then you juggling 5-6 women, and then you come to me like, Al, what should I do? And I'm like, what kind of answer do you want from me? I'm a one-woman man, I'm married. I can't. If you're a player, I got no advice for you. That's your life for me, so. I think it's like you said, it's always good to be around people and surround yourself with people that raise you up.
Yes, man.
Because if you don't, man, I mean, if you're the smartest person in the room, it's time to
change rooms.
It's time to grow. And I like to be around like-minded people that have like-minded discussions. Because you get around some dudes, man, especially like the work scene. It's like you get all these randoms. I mean, these guys talking about godless stuff.
I'm gonna tell you one thing though, to add to that point that you just made. There are times when it's important to be the most mature person in the room or the smartest person in the room, because without a light, people are going to remain in darkness.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's not me taking it to a spiritual place necessarily. I'm just saying
that's
in
real.
general.
That's real.
The light of knowledge, the light of wisdom, the light of understanding, the light of compassion and kindness and love and all of these things. There has to be a point where we are able to show that to other people.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that. And I wish the person that was online that we were talking about could know that. Could know that, because it's like ministry is really how you conduct yourself. It's not always the words. It's really just how you live your life. Because I've had people tell me things, and I'm like, I didn't know you even know that you were looking at me like that. Like you were observing what I was saying, how I was moving, and then you felt inspired. And I'm like, wow, I appreciate that. But I just it just makes you think you need to watch how you conduct yourself. Particularly in under the terms of like guy code, and like when we I just like this forum because it's good for people to see that we have these types of discussions in reality. You know what I'm saying? And this is our mindset. We're not out here slimy, living dirty, talking dirty, you know what I'm saying? So that was just my thought on it.
So you said something that was really good. I like that about but one thing that I do want to take a step back, right? You said you're not trying to turn it to a spiritual thing, but it actually should start that way.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's all good. No, that's all good. It's all good. I'm not correcting you or nothing. I'm just adding to your point.
Yeah,
right? So the whole point is this, like, because everything starts with a thought. As a man thinketh, so he is, right? You see what I'm saying? So if I see, like, what Al is talking about, like, what convinces you to say whatever's in your mind to me as if I am agreeing with how you are living? That's grimy and slimy. You tell me that that is childish behavior. Mm-hmm. And the whole idea is behavior now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if your behavior, if what you say is aligned to what your behavior is, dude, something has to change. That's and right. I cannot be associated with that. Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
That's right.
And this code right here that you thinking that I am registered or subscribed to, I might need to start saying something so you won't think, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to think that I agree
that's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cause
I don't subscribe to that.
It'd be like 60-year-old dudes, man, that'll be around and like looking at young girls, and I'm like, hey man, what about me says that you that's why I evaluate myself.
When they hit you with one of these, hey, young bucket.
Yeah, I've been in them kind of situations. I'm sitting there looking at it like, what are you touching me for? I don't talk like this. I don't look at young girls. So, you know.
What are you touching me for?
Yeah, so I love that point. I love that point because you have to say, like, what is it about me that makes you think you can tell me?
Yeah, exactly, man. What's going on?
It's wild, man. You're right. You're absolutely right. I misspoke. What I should have said was, I don't want it to seem like it was something that I'm saying that's exclusively in the spiritual realm, because there's a lot more to. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
So what other? I'm going with this topic. I'm trying to think of other aspects of God code that change over the course of your life as you tend to grow and mature. The thing with God code is there's no one particular.
Well, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
But it has a negative stigma about it. But because I do believe women, they look at it, because it's girl code too, I'm sure. But with guy code, it's just always a negative stigma.
Yeah.
Like what it says is we don't really check each other. Like, you know, if a dude talking dirty, like, look at that, you know, that young thing over there, then we kind of just laugh it off and are complicit. That's what.
Keep on talking.
Oh yeah. And that's what guy code kind of looks like.
Yeah.
And so, like, I just wanted to kind of have that discussion about it, because it's good for people to know, like, if we talk about, like, your boy stepping out on his wife or something, how do you check him? Or you just don't say nothing and laugh it off. You're like, hey, man, you know, do your thing. I ain't got nothing to say about it. Yeah. That's usually what people think guy code is. I'm not going to check you on him. That's your life. That's your thing. I wouldn't do it, but if you want to do it, so that and that's something that should really be put out there. Like, we check one another, you know.
I think that that's based in a part of God code that is valuable, and that is the fact that I have confidence that I can trust you with no matter what.
Yeah.
If you my brother, you my boy for real. Yeah. I can trust you with any of my, or you know, most of at least my secrets, my
right.
my you know what I'm saying? Exactly. There are things that I might, for instance, there are things that I will share with Gary that nobody else will ever know.
Likewise.
You know what I'm saying?
Gary is, just so everybody knows, Gary is all our counselor.
Right.
He sits over here quietly, but he's everybody's counselor, and he's very quiet about it.
Yeah. He's the guru of the group.
Yeah. No, I like talking to you.
Yeah. But the truth is, and then I'm sure there are things that he will say to me,
right,
that you know that are likewise, that vice versa, and that part of God code is critical.
It's legit.
As long as we don't allow one another to go off on that path where I'm like, I'm trusting you. I mean, you're trusting me with the fact that you just took up, you know, smoking coke, smoking crack or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about. Like, see, I love this right here, what you're saying, because that is the part of God code that I really don't think about much. Like, where it's like, we hold each other accountable, like we confide in one another, but then also it's like, if you tell me like you robbing banks, I'm like, okay, we can't, I can't be a part of that.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna go to the police, but I'm definitely gonna tell you like, hey bro, I can't be a part of that.
Don't tell me anything else.
He's right.
Don't tell me. At the same time though, it's like, it goes back to who are you letting define your life rules or your characters.
Right.
Like, that's what everybody says guy code is. My code is different. Right? So, okay, that's your code. I get you.
That's
my
perfect.
code is, if you're going to be around me, I'm going to be trying to build you up, trying to help you, trying to stabilize you, and trying to give you advice that's going to help you have a better life. And if I can see something that you're doing that's going to end up coming back to bite you, I'm going to tell you that because that's my code. Right? So I don't have to abide by what everybody else says their code is. It's like, and that goes back to what you were saying. It's like, there's a code that's been accepted and that's been publicized that our code is this. Right. No, it's not. You know what I mean? Don't put that on me. Don't say that's our black guy code. No, it's not. Right. I don't ascribe to that. It's like just like you were saying with those older guys. I didn't ask you to come and make that code mine. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I have my own. And I'm gonna tell you what my code is, and I'm gonna live by that. And if you can get down with that, then that's fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we gotta define that though for ourselves.
Define it, and then like you about to say, defend it.
Yes.
Yeah. Because and I like that you brought that up. the code it's not one code.
For sure.
You know,
for sure.
But, you know, a lot of times dudes, you know, act like, cause see, people look at me and they see a sense of humor, right? But it's like, I'm not a dirty guy though. Right. So it's not all clumped together. Like, like we can have jokes and not dirty jokes, or we can have conversations and they don't be dirty. Like, you know, I'm trying to get with her this weekend. I'm trying to do this. I'm like, okay, you do whatever you want. We don't have to talk about that though. If that's your code, I don't have to know about that. That's not my code. So we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff.
And that goes back to the circle of people who you have around.
Exactly. Exactly.
Your group should reflect the code that you have within yourself, your personal code for yourself. You know what I mean? Your group should be a reflection of that.
Exactly. And that goes for everything, like even like professionally. I mean, if we want to talk about, because we raise each other up with our conversations and how we share ideas, you know, because like, you know, we're all tired of working for people. You know what I'm saying? That's a discussion we can all, you know, and I love one of the conversations we had earlier on about entrepreneurship, things like that. But these are the kind of conversations, because that's our code. Right. That's the kind of stuff we talk about. I'm not talking about, you know, how I can get over on somebody or how I can screw the system over. I'm not talking about that, because my thing is like, I want to be around people that are of a mind to do things just properly. Right. You know what I'm saying? We just live our lives and conduct ourselves in a way that is honorable to our fathers and our mothers and our grandparents. You know what I'm saying? Because we get the opportunity to be here. And I love what you said about that's your code. Like that man's code is not your code. And if like our codes don't line up, it's okay. It's cool. It's fine. We ain't got to be around each other. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things I personally do not want to talk about. For sure. And, you know, and they, you know, because people get real transparent about how they living their lives, and I'm like, hey, I don't want to know all that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they talking about other people that you know and you respect, and I'm like, I don't want to know that you're doing all that. So it gets that. I mean, because I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if y'all feel this way. Like in y'all's life, you attract different, just all kinds of people.
Absolutely,
all the time.
I'm like, how does that happen though? Like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything to attract certain types of people.
You're a friendly face. People are attracted to that alone. Just the fact that you're friendly, you're outgoing, you're personable. People of all walks of life will be attracted to that, no matter what they got going on.
I see what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's crazy, man. The people you end up being around, they want to latch onto you. You're like, hey, I don't even act like this, so I'm sorry if I sent something off that made you misunderstand something. I don't, you know.
Yep. I'll be standing in line places waiting to check out, and somebody behind me will say something wild off the wall. You know, I might say good morning to them or something like that. And then before you know it, they telling me about, you know, some wild story that they get. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
If they only knew. You still ain't want to talk.
Why am I stuck here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know.
And then in those moments, I have to find the balance between not being a jerk and just be like, hey man, get out of my face. Yeah. And also being somebody who still upholds the standards that I hold value.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I agree. What are you about to say?
No, it's funny. I've had as many people approach like randomly and start a conversation up as I've had get to know me later. Like, I didn't want to talk to you at first.
Same.
Yep. I didn't know if I should approach you at first. So
I've heard many times that I'm intimidating. I've
heard that too, man. I actually heard that I was stuck up by multiple people, man. Really? Even at school, in high school, if they didn't know me, they thought I was stuck up.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That is fascinating.
I didn't find out until after I graduated. People was like, you know, I thought you were stuck up, man. You're a cool guy. It's like, and the thing is, I'm not trying to be cool for anybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. It's like that code is for you, is what God made you unique. Right. You are a unique individual. Right. And I think what people notice is the uniqueness and that you're not trying
to lean into that uniqueness.
Yes.
When you lean into
that. There you go.
Because some people are, I mean, we're all made to be unique, but some people are proud and happy to and comfortable to follow along with the rest of the crowd. You know what I'm saying?
That's not me, man.
So when you lean into that, and that's the type of person that people look at like, why you think you better than us? Nah, you know what I mean?
I've been told like, man, you different, man. You just don't follow nothing. I'm like, I just don't know how to.
You know, it's not in me.
That's important, man. Yeah. So you brought up something about like family culture and different things like that, the environment you were raised in. I think it's something to think about and consider. Is like, because I think it's very important when you have surrounded yourself around people that understand what a violent oath is, it kind of teaches you to respect what that oath and vow is, whatever it is.
Oh, I agree.
Friendships, and
I agree.
relationships, jobs and different things like that. And that carries a long way. It really carries a long way. It's really a standard that one should carry in relationships and whatnot. And I'm saying that general because I understand that certain things have to be severed from times. Like you said, when it's a slimy person or individual, you want to kind of sever that. Yeah. But you know that I'm not killing you, with that. But I want you to realize that I can't subscribe to that lifestyle that you're living in that conversation. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
I have no problem for situations that don't work for me. Don't feed into me. I have no problem saying, hey, we don't ever have to talk again. It's fine. We'll both survive it. We never have to talk. Like, it's that simple. Because it's no time to be hemming and hawing. Like, you want to be friends, you want to be cool. It's like, no. It's like, if it doesn't work, it's fine.
Right. Yeah.
We never have to talk again.
That's right.
And it's, so.
There's a lot of other people out here for me to be cool with it.
But the thing is, I remember one time, I think like it's kind of one of these things where you leave a job, right? And they want to ask you what's your exit, like when you leave it, right? Interview. The exit interview. So you want to be very careful about what you say.
I agree.
Because I remember
who does.
No, but check
this out. I love it, man.
Because the thing is this, man. Because I remember this guy. From a job, and I'm saying no names or anything. He quit the job. How did it happen?
He burned a bridge?
He burned a bridge bad.
Yeah.
Where he had to come back. And it was like, no.
He should have known.
You know what I mean? So what I'm saying, like, what am I saying? I'm saying is like, you got to be mindful in every situation. That's you got to understand who you're dealing with, the behavior that you're dealing with, the personality or spirit that another individual have, that you need to protect yourself as a defense mechanism, right? To defend yourself, to make sure that you are approaching the relationship, the situation or scenario, so you're not depleting something within yourself or whatnot.
I love that.
I mean?
So, holding up your own standard.
Old standard,
That's good. I agree with that.
I love it, man. I think it's imperative that we continue to have these types of discussions or discussions around this, simply because it's really important that people know that we are men of honor, and there are men of honor still out there, and how we conduct ourselves, how we take care of our situations, things like that, because
you gotta normalize that.
You have to normalize it, because
all while admitting, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to just throw this right on top of what you said.
Yeah.
All while admitting and acknowledging that we are still flawed.
Definitely.
Because in order to be an example, we have to have the humanity still. You know
definitely.
What I mean?
I 100% agree with that. Right. The humanity is at the forefront of it.
Exactly.
And just operating in humility and empathy.
Right.
And not being apathetic, like we don't care about change.
Exactly.
So I think it's imperative for people to see these examples of men that operate this way. Talk a good game and then actually walk it and actually can back it up. We got receipts for the things that we do. Because society and the powers that be would have you think, particular men or men in general can't be moral people. They can't be pillars anymore.
Especially men who look like us.
That's exactly. Yeah. Men that look like us, we don't take care of our situation. It's like we actually do though.
Yeah.
And that guy code, it has some good meaning to it. Well, I love what you brought up, because see, I never thought or vocalized it like that. Because I've always thought of guy code maybe having a little more of a negative definition. It's like guy code, you ain't gonna tell nobody. Right. That's pretty much I always thought guy code was like, hey, you're not gonna snitch on me, are you?
Right.
And I'm like, so guy code really can be expounded upon like, hey, this is my code. I have standards. Your code is your code.
That's important.
Yeah, and guy code is not an umbrella that we are all under. Because some dudes want it to be that way, and it's like, it's not.
They have a lot of nerve to tell you, you're not going to say nothing about this, right? That's a lot of nerve. You know what I mean?
Remember that happened to you? I mean, we ain't talk about it. It was terrible.
We ain't got to talk about it.
That's one of the situations I think about.
Yeah.
You ain't going to tell nobody.
I think I know you're talking about. That's the worst part. Go ahead.
You ain't gonna tell, because they try to make you feel a certain way. You ain't gonna tell nobody.
Right. Like, don't run a guilt trip on me because you out here messing up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to put, you know what I'm saying? No, you finish it up.
It's rough, man, but we find ourselves in these situations all the time. Mm-hmm. Because to me, I live for honesty, right? Mm-hmm. And that's for me, right? Mm-hmm. I've been dishonest before. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's when that maturity level hit.
Right.
Yeah.
And you realize, like, dishonesty, lies, and different things like that, dude, that takes you down such a path that you won't even find yourself no more.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole.
You see what I'm saying? It's that
absolutely.
And like you said, like, you know, whoever thinks, and this is another thing is, that person that lied, that can potentially lie against you, right? And that's and I got to be careful with this because I said you got to defend yourself. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily, right? Because if you know who you are of a truth, and shame on anybody else that will believe anything otherwise. You see what I'm saying? So. Like if anybody else will actually believe a snake, whose fault is that? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like don't, and that's like you said about that code, it has so many faces, right? And I think that an individual must, number one, know who they are when dealing with people in a certain behavior and spirit and mindset that they have.
Yeah. Sure.
You should already know that if I'm dealing with this
sink. Absolutely. 100%, bro.
Right. I think for me, I think
crazy.
People would think, see, I pride myself on, I know I'm a good friend, a good family member. You know, that's like my thing, you know, and I think when people see that, they think, oh, so this is somebody that'll be loyal to some crap, you know, and I'm like,
what? Say that
again. Editing. Somebody will be loyal to something that ain't, you know, that's beneath my standards. And I'm like, that's not going to happen, man. Like, I mean, you see a friendly guy with a smile, but this is like, I actually have standards and things that I live by, a creed that I live by. And you're not going to lower me to you know, to subscribe to your way of thinking, you know. And I think it's imperative, like you said, that we know who we are going into something. You let people know who you are, and then you find out who they are. You know, I think it's important to vet who's around you because there's a lot of different stories going on right now, situations where people have got messed up, man, because they didn't know the people they were around. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I think that's imperative to know your crowd. You raise the bar, you raise the standard, and then make people rise to it.
That's right.
You know,
that's right. I got a great example in recent news about the dangers of not having a solid circle around you. Yeah. Did y'all hear about Vladimir Putin falling down the stairs and soiling himself?
Yeah.
Here's my example. The fact that made it to the news means that his circle is not secure.
Not tight.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, who around you can you not trust so much so? He was at his home.
Yeah, that's my stuff.
How did that make it to the news? Your circle is not secure, bro.
It's not on lock. It's not on lock. I mean, but man, that's a good point. But it's imperative, man, that we let people know who we are and you let people know what you about. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, man, you're going to attract a lot of different flies, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want to be bothered. There's certain conversations and certain things I don't even want to have with certain people. It's like, what are you even talking about? I've been around people where I've looked at them and said, what are you even talking about? What is being said?
Right.
I can't do that, man.
It's the type of person that make you squint while they talking.
Squint.
Right, you're right.
Yeah, like what's going on here?
Exactly.
Like literally, I mean, you know, and so you know, for me, I don't have a mind for it. Yeah. So, you know, but that's part of my code, you know, like, and I pride myself on being like if we cool or if we friends or we're family, like you got a friend for life. You know what I'm saying? It's not some dude that you, like I'm, you know, dependable, things like that. You know, I would never be a person that would do you wrong or slight you. You can depend on that. And see, when people know that, like you said, people want somebody like that. But the thing is you have to earn that. You have to be of character yourself.
Absolutely.
I'm finding, man, in the society that we live in today, people really want something for nothing. They want things of value for nothing, right?
Absolutely.
So they want a valuable person in their life. It's like, but you don't deserve it, though. Whether dude or a man or a woman, it's like you don't deserve it because you have to be whole with yourself. You have to, like, for me, so like I said, I know I'm a good friend, right? So But you can't have that if you are not a good friend. It's just that simple. It's simple arithmetic. So,
sure.
you know, a lot of people don't get that though.
For sure.
You know, they want somebody of high value.
Right.
It's like, but you don't bring that to the table. So you have to understand, again, our codes are different.
Right.
How we think, how we talk, what our goals are,
right.
what you know, what our discussion is going to be, how we treat people around us.
Yeah.
All of that's different. So if all that's different, I mean, we just not gonna be cool, and it's fine. That is absolutely fine because we're gonna bump heads at some point, and we're gonna separate anyway.
Yeah.
So let's just nip this in the bud early.
Yeah.
So that's a very valuable discussion, very valuable thought about guy code, not guy code people, guy code.
You're not surprised. By the way, like, subscribe, and share.